And we are live for show number 168. Guess what? It's just me here. If you're joining us, make sure you um, like this, share it. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, um, Facebook, TikTok, Periscope, and Twitch. So I think the title of this particular episode is um, Buy Houses, No Banks. So if you're not aware of how the show runs, um, make sure that um, you can ask your questions in the comments section. And I'm going to try to answer those, but I'm by myself, so I have to try to handle the technical side of this, putting this on along with trying to actually be of some value here. So um, hopefully Adria will make her way in or whatever. So and help me out. But if she doesn't, I think we can make it work. We're going old school when it's just me. So we'll get into just answering the title of this particular video, um, which is Buy Houses, No Banks. And what I'm referring to is owner financing. And that's simply where the owner of a property allows you to pay them in terms. And that can go in so many directions, but just a simple way of explaining it. Say someone owns a house, and in this situation, they don't owe anything on the house. It can be a pretty house, ugly house, it doesn't matter. All right, so just going to use some really easy numbers here. Say someone wants to sell you a house, but they want $50,000 for you, but the price that would work for you is $20,000, right? And so what you would offer them as an alternative is that, hey, and to keep it simple, is that I'll pay you 100 payments of $500 each. I think that's a little over, what is that? A little over, I think almost 8 years or whatever. Um, what is that? Yeah, it's a little over 8 years because yeah, it's a little over 8 years. And you will gain ownership. Now, that's a deal where there was no interest included in that. So it's a straight principal deal. That's just one simple way of doing that. So that's where the owner would act as the bank. Hopefully, you negotiated that deal where there's no down payment or whatever, which if it was, normally that'll go towards the total amount owed. That's a simple way of doing it. Now, sometimes people will owner finance and they'll want interest, and normally they may do interest a little above what you can get, assuming you had great credit or whatever. If it's the normal rate, depending on your credit score, we'll say 4%. They may owner finance it to you for 7% or whatever, just to an incentive for them to actually do it. Now, there are other forms of owner financing, such as subject to deals, and you probably heard that a lot. And what it means, subject to existing financing. So what it means is that they actually owe something on the property as far as a mortgage, but they would deed the property over to you. So you own the property, but there's still a lien against it that's in their name or whatever. So in order to keep that deal smooth, that payment to the lender, whoever gave them the loan or the mortgage on the property, still needs to be paid. Another form of owner financing would be lease options, right? And that's where you basically lease the property. You lease with an option to buy, but in that lease also it gives you an opportunity to turn around and lease the property back out. And how you would make your money is that you'll lease say the monthly payment was $1,000 to the owner. Maybe that covers just the mortgage itself, or maybe the mortgage and a little more. But you are confident you can rent it out for, we'll just say $1,500. All right, so that $500 difference between the $1,000 you're paying to sell and the $1,500 you're collecting, that 500 goes into your pocket as cash flow. On top of that, normally you're going to get a non-refundable down payment from that individual, maybe 10% or maybe a set amount or whatever. So that goes in your pocket up front. On top of that, you'll have a back end. So you may have the property to purchase from the owner for 100,000, but you may be selling it to them for 150. So that 150, if they ever get financed and get their credit cleaned up, you'll have another back end depending on how the rest of the terms were negotiated. So those are just 3 ways that you can own or finance a property where there are no banks are needed. And this goes on every level of real estate, from a $10,000 property up to $100 million property and more. Owner financing exists or whatever. So that was the title of this particular video. So I wanted to go ahead and get that out front. And now I guess I can follow up some questions, which I have a promo going on where we're going to give away 2 subscriptions of Dealulator, aka PropStream, for an entire year. You can already have it or not or whatever, and you can still get it. But the way you're going to be able to win that is that you're going to have to, well, you know what? I'm going to probably have to wait and tell you how to get. I'm going to put a video out on YouTube to explain how to actually receive it. So just stick around. I'll tell you now. A lot of you all heard it this morning or whatever, but for some of the policies of some of the social media networks that we're using, they don't want you to promote any giveaways or anything. So I can do it on YouTube though, so it won't be an issue. But that's where you'll be able to find out the information on it. It'll be titled free courses, free Dealulator or whatever, PropStream or whatever. So you'll be able to get access to that. If you text me, I'll send you the Instagram post where I explained it. If you go to my Instagram, it was a post that I did earlier from the live. It should be in the post, the second or third post from the day, and I explained it all. So just to bring that up. So anyway, so let's get into some questions. Again, make sure you like this, share it, and since here. All right. Looking for information. Frederick Fiber, I think I'm saying that right. Pfeiffer. Looking for information on virtual wholesaling. Well, virtual wholesaling is basically the same thing as you would do locally. The only difference is you need to have boots on the ground where you're trying to wholesale. You need someone to represent you in some situations. If it's only as simple as setting up a viewing between a buyer and a seller, because sometimes the seller won't give you access to the property. So you need someone there to represent your interest with that. So that can be another wholesaler, a friend, family member, or whatever. But you got to have someone there to represent your interest with that. So what we got here? Comments. I'll go down to the bottom. Club. Renee Jr. says, can you wholesale an owner finance term? Most definitely you can. You can set up those terms, and a lot of times you're going to have even more people interested in if it was a cash deal with the owner financing terms, and you get paid by either increasing the down payment to fit in your money or just a flat out an assignment. So yes, you can wholesale out owner finance terms. All right. Someone threw in an address. I don't know if I'm going to do any comping here. The low-key barber says, can my the one-page contract that I give away that you can access through Dealulator.com that I've give away, been used since 2003, can it be used for owner financing? Yes, but the contract itself is only to initiate the deal. You would have to add an addendum or an exhibit A to detail out the terms of the owner financing. Then whenever you close on it, however you perform that, then those terms will be met. All right. Okay. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name. I guess I can put it on the screen. Flipman, when filling out an assignment contract using my LLC, when I get to sign the signature part and it's not just part, do I sign the LLC name or do I sign my name? You sign your name. I'm assuming you will be a managing member of that LLC. All right, let me see. Boom, put that up there. All right, let me go up and find another one. All right. Richard, Paul, I started just answered that question. What is your way of virtual wholesale? And I just say it's really the same thing. You just got to have boots on the ground to represent you or whatever. So, um, all right. Good question here. Says, hey, this is from Avery from YouTube. How many people a day should you cold call? Really as many as possible, but if you just want an actual number, it depends on how you're making those calls. If you're actually just picking up your phone and making the calls, it makes it a lot more difficult through that process. But if you're using an automatic dialer, you can easily knock out 500 or so with no problem. So it's just going to be based on how much time you can dedicate to it. But ideally, at least 500 if you have an automatic dialer. If you're just picking up your phone to do it, man, it'll take you a while just to go through 50 or whatever. So, but you want to do as many as you possibly can because it's a numbers game. Text messaging is you get a better response. You can see the if you're on YouTube, see the banner here on the screen. You just YouTube search my video, text to flip. All right. Next camp, I'm not sure. I guess next CXMP says, how do I find a new market? I'm not sure what you mean. If you could be a little bit more specific with that question. All right. David Lai, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Okay. But how do you find these properties? Because I've came across too many lease to own scams. Well, number one, you're not looking for properties that are actually lease to own themselves. You're the one that's creating the actual deal. You're the one making that offer to an owner. He didn't ask you about doing a lease option. You created the deal from your negotiations. So if you're looking for properties that are lease to own already advertised, then yeah, you're asking for it. Or what I'm talking about in terms of using that either as your direct source of generating a potential deal, or it's an alternative because it's not a wholesale deal. So you're negotiating into a lease option, not something that's already being advertised as a lease option. It'll just those opportunities will just come from your normal marketing of trying to generate leads through banner signs, direct mail, cold calling, text messaging, or ringless voicemail, just on and on and on. So those opportunities will present themselves where you can offer owner financing. All right. Not sure how to pronounce that handle, but do you contact vacant properties that are LLC owned? It's rare I do those because it's hard to skip trace those. It takes time to skip trace those, and normally the not saying that anyone can be motivated because behind every LLC there's a human being and they have problems just like anyone else. It's just the numbers will play out that those individuals will be less likely to be motivated to sell versus someone that puts a property directly into their actual name or whatever. But you never know. But the hardest thing is just getting those skip trace quickly. All right. G Brown says, can I wholesale a property to find a home for me and my family to live in? I guess you're saying, can you find a property through trying to wholesale properties, right? And what will happen is if you do this and do it, even if you're not doing it at a highly successful level, if you're doing enough marketing, opportunities are going to present themselves that which will allow you to put actually purchase properties um, that you may want to live in, or negotiate a deal that you may actually want to live in. So yeah, that definitely will happen. And I've been saved by like an angel. And that, hey, there's your birthday gift right there on the table, baby. all you can stand, just frozen though. So Adrian's here, so this should smooth out a little better. So, but I'll continue while she's getting set up. You can just put that jacket in. All right, so LA Wiggins says, "What's up, Flip Man? Can you wholesale land or lots?" Yes, most definitely. The only thing is that with land and lots, it may be a little difficult to get value sometimes because there may not be enough activity. And then in some areas, land and lot, I hate to say any real estate is worthless, but it's just going to be difficult to find buyers for it or whatever. So it's a hit or miss. It's not as cut and dry as houses. The two biggest issues is coming up with actual values, and on top of that, having actual a plethora of buyers for them. That was going to be your two biggest issues with land, but most definitely you can. Now, one of the pros about it is, whereas you have to sometimes be there to show a property to an investor and all that stuff. A lot of times with land, the front door is already open. You know what I'm saying? It's just there. You just go see it or whatever, unless it has a fence around it or something, no trespassing. Other than that, a lot of times it's just open. So versus a house, you may have to get, permission to get access, whereas land, the door is open. Just go see it or whatever. And you can send buyers out there, just go see it. You don't have to schedule anything. So that is one of the pros of land and lots. So I'm hearing myself echo.
Better?
That's better. Nope, no, it's not. Let me.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So boom. So we got that taken care of, and I can get this off screen. But you are. What's it doing? That's on your phone. Okay. All right. So uh, let me look at this one here. Can you explain what do you do after you get an owner and a seller to sign the terms, or how the deal will with the escrow and get them the contracts for the assignment fee? So you're basically asking what's next after you have a seller and a buyer and a contract under contract. The next step is those are good. The next step is to actually get set up the closing. So in a lot of cases, the buyer is going to dictate where and who closes the actual deal. So you really just piggyback off of that. Now I use what we call a closing detail sheet. So it breaks down obviously the property address, who's the seller, who's the buyer, the selling price, um, what my assignment fee will be, or whoever else is involved in that, who's paying the closing costs, and my contact information. Normally that will more than satisfy what they're looking for. So, but after you get a seller and buyer in the contract, now it's time to put the closing into motion. So
All right. So, hi guys. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, and I apologize for being just a tad bit late. But going with the next question, which is going to be from Charles Shaw, what is the best way to go with a seller that wants to sell the property but wants to continue to live in it? They don't owe anything on it. They are elderly and just want to get rid of it. So, how does that work?
well, technically, they don't want to get rid of it because they still want to remain in the property. I guess that's possible. Anything could be negotiated, but they're not gonna. No one's gonna let them live there for free or whatever. So they're gonna have to pay rent or whatever. If they're gonna do that, they might as well get a reverse mortgage or whatever. To cash themselves out of it. Um, Other than that, unless I'm missing something in that equation.
No. Okay, so want to say to Lady Kizzo, thank you for joining us. This is her first time on. She's joining us from TikTok. So hey and welcome.
What's up?
So Hal ARD Mason wants to know if a property is listed for around 75,000, but they owe 31,000 left. Is it worth trying to wholesale? And this is a question from TikTok.
And what was the numbers?
I'm sorry, 75, but they owe 31. They have it listed for 75, they owe 31.
Well, are they willing to accept the 31? If they're willing to accept the 31,000 and it's worth 75, depending on the amount of repairs, it may be an opportunity. Need a little more information.
All right. So if you can give us a little bit more, I'll make sure I do a follow up. And Lady Kizzo, again, thanks for joining me. Your first question is, can I do this without using my money? She wants to know whose money do we use to wholesale houses?
Well, what you're doing, this is the way you look at wholesaling. It's I'm gonna try to simplify it, but understand the process of how real estate transactions occur. All real estate transactions start with a contract. Now, that a purchase and sales agreement, just saying between you and the seller, you're going to buy a property at this amount on this date, a few other terms or whatever. But that doesn't give you ownership, does it? But it does give you interest in the property that can be sold, right? So basically, once you place that property on the contract, you have, unless that contract says you can't, you can actually sell the rights to that contract using an assignment fee. And so why would someone do that? Because you've located a great deal, right? So a cash buyer, an investor, someone that actually has the cash to do it, and they will actually basically buy you out of the deal. They buy what I call a buy fee, get out of the way fee or whatever. But that fee can be 4, 5, 6 figures sometimes or whatever. But you can repeat that over and over again. That's why it can be so lucrative. So, and the reason that the cash buyer will want you to be out of the deal because they have an opportunity to make money on it, either through fixing it up and flipping it, or fixing it up and renting it out. So that's why your cash or credit won't matter when we say that, because you found a great deal and someone's basically going to buy your position in that deal, buy you out of the way, to push you out of the way. So that's why.
All right. Don't forget, guys, you can join us live at comps101.com.
I ain't did that yet. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
comps101.com, where you can come on and ask your question live with us on the show tonight. So let's see here. Albert Churio says, hey man, I got a question. I live in Texas where dual agency is not allowed. So if I try to work with on-market property, should I get a buyer agent to represent me?
What do you mean? The agent can't buy and sell the property?
Uh,
Can't list and sell the property? Can't find they can't list it and sell it to they can't list it and bring a buyer to the table. That's what he's saying.
And okay, so let me see what dual agency. I honestly don't know. Let me see here. Real estate. Go to our handy dandy Google. Is when dual agency is when a real estate agent works with the buyer and the seller on the same transaction simultaneously.
Okay, and so what was his question?
Should he get a buyer agent to represent him?
Well, if that's the law, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, but this is only if he's a realtor. He's not a realtor.
No, he means that a realtor can't do it. He's saying a realtor can't represent both parties.
Gotcha.
That's what he's trying to say.
Right.
If that's the law, then you can do about it.
All right, there you have it. Follow the law. Follow the law. Okay, so we have a couple of questions about VAs. VAs, if you guys are new here, is a virtual assistant. So Jerry Henderson wanted to know, is it a good idea to have a virtual assistant out of the country for cold calling? And then Highly Blessed wanted to know, did you have any recommendations on a virtual assistant company?
Well, I really don't have any recommendations on any companies or whatever, but normally they are out of the country. And the reason that people love to use them is because they're very inexpensive. You can literally get 40 hours a week out of them for $100. That's $250 an hour if you don't know how to do the math on that. That's why people like using them if you can train them correctly to do what you need them to do. So, but I don't have a company I can recommend.
Okay, speaking of companies to recommend, you have Big Boy Music Group who wants to know what's the best program to use for spreadsheets after skip tracing, where you can hold a sheet of paper in your hand and start cold calling. So, what would we use? What company would we use for skip tracing? And then after you get that information, what do you do with it?
Well, on the skip tracing, obviously I promote skip to flip, so there you go on that. But he wants the actual document in his hand so he can call.
Yes.
Well, yeah. If you build, I don't know where depends on where you're getting your list. Well, if you're getting your list from skip to flip, right, it's going to allow you to download with a CSV file, or you can um ex export that into a Excel file. So that's your list there. If you want it actually in your hand, you just print it out or whatever. So
Okay. Let's see here. Do, 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 do. Next question is going to be from Low Key Barber. Can your contract be used on I'm sorry, on owner financing?
yeah, I answered that one already.
You did?
I'm
Oh.
sorry.
See, I'm late, guys. Okay. Well, Keith Webster has a question about ARV. He wants to know, after you get your ARV, what happens to the other part of the percent from the 70-80%?
Well, really, the other part of it is what you're doing is you're backdooring the deal. You're starting from the end game. So that 30%, which you can do it that way if you wanted to, but you would have to do like 30% times 100,000 is 30,000, and then subtract 30,000 back from the 100,000. So, or you could just say subtract 30% from 100,000, which is still 7% times 100,000. But what that is the owner. I mean, is the cash buyers or the investors' profit plus um, holding costs or whatever. Holding costs can be like closing costs, utilities, things of that nature or whatever. So.
Okay, Alonzo Lindsley has a question a little bit more related to our backyard. Do you wholesale houses in Fairfield? And if so, what is the average cash sale?
Depends on what side of Fairfield you're in. If you're over by Miles, you got to know to get that stuff under $10,000. You got Glen Oaks and Fair Oaks and all those places. It can get. I don't know. It's just a barrier up in there. It's just like two different sides of the Airnorth Drive. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in Fair Oaks, Glen Oaks, I think that's the name of those neighborhoods. Those houses go in the hundreds or whatever. But over there by Miles, you got to get all that stuff under $10,000. Then you got the other part over there behind the what is that? The Papa John's. I don't know what they call that, but they're going to be a little bit more. You'll spend more. Investors will spend more over there because it is on that Glen Oaks, Fair Oaks side, but you may can get away with in the 20 and below on that small section of it. So, but yeah, it's going down in Fairfield, even though the city is about to go bankrupt, but whatever.
Okay. Thank you for that information. So we asked, could the contract be, you asked, already answered that deal with the contract being used for owner occupancy. But when wholesaling to owner occupancy, do I have to worry about loans? I've talked to a broker about the deal and he gave someone my number.
I'm not sure what that means. When wholesaling to owner occupancy, do I have to worry about loan? Yeah, you can't. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't. You got some people that are doing some stuff they probably shouldn't be doing, right? Let me just say that it has to be cash, or it has to be someone that is using some form of private lending or hard money or whatever. From a bank, Wells Fargo, somewhere like that, no, you can't wholesale those. I'm sure people out there laughing at it that do it, but I'm just telling you they doing stuff they probably shouldn't be doing. And I know I'll operate in some gray areas, but it's not even worth it or whatever. And you can't make a living that way. Well, again, I know some people probably out there doing it, But trust me, they're doing some stuff they probably shouldn't be doing or whatever. It just doesn't work that way because banks, whenever they put their money, get their money involved, they control too much of the deal or whatever. So
All right. Jared Mays wants to know what are some good questions to ask contractors to make sure they're honest and knowledgeable.
and just to add on to that last question, you want cash buyers, investors that are going to buy from you over and over again. Someone that wants to live in the house, that's a one-time sale. You don't want to make a living that way. You want, and plus, it's just not going to be able to find enough of those individuals that's going to play ball with you anyway, right? So you want to make your living on people that's going to buy from you over and over again from you fast. All right. So, what are some of the questions to ask a contractor to make sure they're honest and knowledgeable? Man, that is tough, man. I really don't even have an answer for that because they can seem as reputable as possible, and still stick you or whatever. Ideally, what you would want is someone that can fund the deal for the most part without you having to go to Home Depot every time something needs to be purchased or whatever. When they get through certain stages of the project, then yeah, you give them a draw or whatever on the property. That's ideally how it works, and should work, is that they have enough resources they can fund the project up to 25% of it, 50, 75. Boom, you pay them out because it's done. That's the way it should work or whatever. So
Okay. So our next question is from Darius Bryant, and he wants to know what advice would you give for someone who's going from a small town to a bigger market like Dallas or Atlanta to wholesaling, and which leads would I'm sorry, maybe that's supposed to be leads. Which leads would you target and what marketing would you do?
well, if you're going to go to a large market like that, then yeah, the opportunities are going to be pretty much endless. I don't care where you are in any size city, especially like those. I'm going to start with text messaging, but I would probably start in the C neighborhoods. And how you're going to determine that? It may take you a while to figure it out. The neighborhoods are going to be the A's where you got the $1 million homes, and the D neighborhood is going to be at the end of the spectrum as far as pricing. So you should be able to figure out the C by the next level up from the D neighborhoods or whatever. And that's what I would target, using text messaging for right now. That's one of the, well, in reality, in my opinion, is the best thing going. I would definitely probably get out and drive the market quite a bit. It may take you a few weeks to really learn it or whatever, and see if I notice any bandit signs. And I would place bandit signs in those same areas where bandit signs already exist in those different markets. So
Okay. So another question we have is going to be when comping houses, are the comparable sales prices the ARVs or is that the sold as is price?
it would be a combination of both. But whenever you're trying to come up with an ARV, which is after repair value, is what it means. Is that, and just another way of explaining it, is what will the house appraise for in excellent condition? So the houses that you're looking for are those houses that have been definitely renovated, or at least in really good condition, and what they sold for. And you're looking for comps to justify that number, not the ones that are sold for a lot less. That's one thing. You're looking for those that have sold at the top end of the market because they have actually been renovated or were in great condition when they sold. Now, if you have a lot of cash transactions in a particular area, that's a good thing, because ideally that a lot of those are going to be investors, and you can see what they're paying. And you'll know, you should know, if it's enough of them, you need to get your deals under that amount in order for you to be able to make money under that threshold that you see often as far as cash deals.
Okay. Hi, Eric Carney. Long time no see your comments there. Thank you for joining us. Shaq Smith from Westside D Town. Always lovely to see you in the comment section as well. Life 1981. Better late than not at all. So thank you for joining us via Instagram there. Big brother, I need tutorials. It's a lot of houses in my area. I want to gain and flip, but how? So, tutorials have over 500 plus videos you can start with on YouTube. Life 1981, that is a good place to start. Binge on those videos. I'm going to say every single piece of information you need to wholesale houses is in one or collection of or all of those videos. You have free content there. Join the Wholesaling Real Estate, the Flipman Facebook group. Join us here every Thursday. Before we even do the live Q&As, there's a comping session. Every day there's uploaded content and Q&As on Instagram as well. So educate yourself consistently. That's where you want to start. Any suggestions on tutorials? Or did I cover it?
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
So Timothy Brooks has a question. It's in regards to trailers. So I'm go ahead and ask this one question about it, and hopefully it'll answer a few questions that some of you other guys have. So Tim says, "Hey, Flipman, question: Do you wholesale trailers? How would I exchange their title? Do I go through the title company or an attorney without the lot, or just the trailer home itself? I need help. This just happened a few minutes ago." And also, can I still use your contract for the trailer home itself with no lot? Thank you. So, what do you say when we're talking about trailers? What about the contract, the need of the title company or attorneys, any of that when you're dealing with mobile homes?
Okay, mobile homes. First of all, they're like automobiles. So that's the first thing. If land is not included with the mobile home, then now you become less important in the deal if the seller and the actual buyer ever meet, because they can literally perform the transaction with a bill of sale, sign the titles, and boom. And depending what state you're in, if it's older than a certain number of years, they don't even need a title but just a bill of sale. So if land is not included in it, you don't need an attorney or a title company or even a contract in reality. Because just like selling a car, you don't need a contract to sell a car to someone else, outside of a dealership. You don't need a contract for that or whatever. So if it's a situation with a mobile home, the only thing that you could possibly do, if it's a situation where the seller won't provide you access without them being there, and that they're going to have to meet or whatever. And then you're not going to be able to wholesale it in the sense the way you will with a house, because the buyer is now going to have to trust you with the money to go pay the seller so you can get the title to bring back to them. Now, what you could do is possibly set up some owner financing with the seller and then sell that owner financing to the buyer and let them pay it off or whatever. You all write up an agreement of some sort like that or whatever. But other than that, you may have to just simply buy it first if the land is not included. And once a mobile home has to, the other thing is hard coming up with an actual value for a mobile home, especially if it has to be moved, because that could easily be 5 to 10 grand just to move it or whatever. So that goes right into your money or whatever. So mobile homes are tough in the sense of wholesaling the traditional way, like you do with houses, unless you just have the right type of buyer and they just want you to go out there and find them. They pay you a fee for it, but that's bird dogging more so than wholesaling. So just depends.
Okay. Adam wants to know, how many leads does it usually take to get a house flipped, generally speaking, in your experience? Also, are you texting them and then calling, or mostly all over text?
Well, it'll vary from individual to individual. Some people you won't talk to them until it's time to, well, even after you put it under contract, you haven't even talked to them before. I got some apartments on the contract right now. I never even talked to the lady. It was all done through text message and email or whatever. So it'll just vary from person to person, what they're comfortable with. What was the first part of the question?
Um, how many leads does it usually
Oh,
take to
okay.
get a house flipped?
Generally speaking, it normally takes about 25 to 30 people that actually want to sell, not the number of people you've actually talked to, but 25 to 30 people that actually want to sell a piece of real estate to get it under, to be able to get one under contract ready to wholesale.
All right, so we just spoke about the trailers, and I think maybe you answered the question earlier before I got on in regards to land. But Zach M says, "Hey, Flipman, I'm a virtual wholesaler marketing in Mississippi. I had a seller call me about his rural property, a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, which is not listed by the county as a home, but as a barn. Any advice?"
It's just difficult, man. Small areas, you're not going to have enough. You're not going to have enough buyers. That's your issue. Small areas. Unless there's an extreme amount of land or something, you may have someone to pick it up or whatever. But you still got to get it cheap. And the only thing you're going to really probably have to go by is what the county assesses it for. And I would try to do half or less of that amount.
Okay. Big Ange says, "What's up? It's Angel. Much love. I started cold calling and hopefully I get something soon. So
Boom.
some action is better than no action. Good luck with that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
takes a certain level of courage to do that cold calling thing. So you might have an advantage over some other wholesalers in your area. Speaking about some action better than no action, what if there's a lot of action with no action? I mean, Facebook user says, "Hey, what's up? Everyone, my thing with wholesaling is it's simple but very hard. I've been doing this for a while. No deal. What should I do to be more consistent? Sometimes it's discouraging." I know the first thing Ty is going to ask you, Facebook users, what are you doing?
Yeah. Hey, she's the mind reader. We going on the road. Um, yeah, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You've been at it for a minute. What are you doing to generate leads? That's going to be a huge part of it. What are you doing on a daily basis to generate leads? How many actual sellers, how many owners are you talking to on a daily basis, and how many of those actually want to sell that you're talking to on a daily basis? So, if you're getting individuals wanting to sell 3 to 5 a day, that want to act, you're actually talking in that conversation, then you're doing what you need to do and just keep doing it. It's just going to be a matter of time. But if you're not up to that 3 to 5 per day, then you got to get up there to it. So we would have to know what you're doing, though. What form of marketing are you doing to generate leads too? So
Okay, Susu has a really good question. How would you learn who are the other wholesalers in your area? She's a total newbie.
well, you number bandit signs that are out in your market. You can go to Google and do a search for "sell my house fast" and whatever the name of the city or market you're in. Those first 2 or 3 pages of results are going to be wholesalers and or actual flippers or whatever other investors. Facebook groups for that particular market locally and nationally. You can go to YouTube. I'm sorry, go to Facebook and join the wholesaling houses with the Flip Man group. And in my group, if you ask that question, I'm sure there are going to be some people that are going to reach out to you that may be in your market. So, and if you put out uh, bandit signs, even if you're trying to attract sellers, other wholesalers are going to call you on those also. You can go to RIA meetings, Real Estate Investment Association meetings, and you're going to meet some wholesalers there. So, hopefully those number of ways will allow you to meet other wholesalers.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that question. What would be the benefit of learning who the other wholesalers are in your area?
You can wholesale their properties, or they can wholesale yours.
Okay. So JV,
JV, joint venturing.
joint venturing. Okay. Billy J. Brown, thank you. He says, "Hey, brother, I love your tips. Thank you for joining us. Most definitely appreciate you being here with us on TikTok." So
Oh yeah.
going to our next question, which is from Sierra Simone.
Oh,
She has a virtual property under contract. It's her very first deal. Her 10-day clause is up on Thursday next week. She hasn't opened an escrow, but she wants to wait on a buyer to cover the cost. And the title company said it could take 7 to 10 days to get the information. No EMD was contracted with the seller. So is it best to get out of the deal, or what would be a good way to finish up? I don't want to be stuck with the property myself.
Well, I would love to hear those numbers on that property if you can post those. But assuming, and then I'd like to know what you've done to try to market the actual property. Those are going to be the main things before I can just really help you with that. Is I would have to know what are you doing to market the property and so on.
Okay. I see several of you guys have asked about mentoring or coaching. If you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook, you can look on your screen there. If you're on Instagram, go about 45 minutes into the live. But if you need one-on-one coaching through deals, you can call or text Ty directly for pricing at 205-492-3425. Again, that number is 205-492-3425. And nobody's joining us. Y'all can go to comps101.com and join us live and ask your question yourself. But until then, I'll keep reading the questions for you. Sierra Simone did come back with some added information. She says the ARV is 146K, repairs are 40K. They're asking 68. She's posted it on all possible Facebook groups in that state.
She said what now? 148?
146.
146.
Yes.
And then what are repairs?
40.
And she has on the contract for what amount?
They're asking 68.
Okay. Just off the top, that's a thin deal, Simone. That's a thin deal. That's your issue. You should I'm trying to build in a $10,000 fee, but even if I build in 5,000, assignment fee should be around 55 or so.
Okay.
56.
So correction, I love that you're on, Sierra, and you're able to respond so quickly. She has it on a contract for 60. She's asking 68.
Okay.
So 68 does include her
you're
fee.
close. Assuming your 40,000 repairs is correct, it's tight. It's tight. You really need that a little cheaper or whatever. Do you think it's a possibility you can turn that into some owner financing? Offer the seller 100 payments of $600. Think about that.
Sounds like a good deal, unless those $40,000 in repairs makes it not livable.
How many months is
What?
How many years is
100 payments?
100 payments? Let me see here. It's gonna be over 8.
It's over
8.3. Yeah, 8.3333333.
Okay, so 8.3. She says she's not in the position to do so at this time, or either they aren't in the position.
I got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So just a thin line.
It's just what city is this in?
Look here. She's responding quickly. And this is a virtual deal too, so she's not in the same place.
I got that from the jump.
Okay. Thank you, Smith Financial Group. He gave us 8.5. We got
8.5. What?
We were talking about months.
Oh yeah, 8.3.
And the property's in Philadelphia.
Ooh, yeah, you should be moved. Let me see. I'm remind me tomorrow. Now, I may can interject. We may can partner up on it. I can reach out to a couple of my people in Philly, see what they think. Go to Deal You Later and just submit the deal and just reference this, from tonight. Simone, I'll probably remember anyway or whatever. So
she gave the address.
Huh? She gave the address. Oh, she did? Okay, yeah, let me just look at it. So
all right, Simone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go together. We're going to go to dealulator.com, guys. This is dealulator.com, aka PropStream, is a tool.
We're having I really can't promote it here because of a couple of the social media places don't like you to promote giveaways, but we're going to run a promo for a year subscription. We're going to give that away to 2 people. On top of that, we're going to give away 2 free courses, and on top of that, free coaching. Some certain people meet certain expectations, but I'm gonna put out a video in the next couple of days about it or whatever. So
Merry Christmas.
So what's the address?
1732. It's on the screen.
I'm on the other screen, so.
Scattergood.
How you spell that?
SCATTERGOOD.
Okay, there you go. Just a row house.
El Haj Malik, what up? I see you, said Adria. What up, player? Glad you're still here. You have the perfect face for. You made me sick. And I actually read that too. I do have the perfect face for radio. So do you, sir. So do
Oh, he
you.
ain't tripping. Oh, okay.
All right, Simone, we got you pulled up. So what you see?
All right, so we got number 1, 2, and 4. Those are the ones I'm going to try to comp here. I really don't want to cross over those other streets there, so I'm just going to highlight these 3. So what I'm doing is just out in a boundary, getting rid of the other property. So, okay, so start with the year. You can do plus or minus 5 years. All right, so we got 2 1945s, and then we got these are exact properties right here. We got one for 80, and we got one for 91, right? Mm-hmm. And then number 2, which is let me look at the satellite. Yeah, those are the buildings on the next in the rear of it. Boy, Simone, it's tough, baby. I'm looking at this 80 and 91. I think your issue is, let me just actually look at this one here. This one just sold back in August. So let's look at it.
And she has the ARV at 146.
Yeah, I need to remove the thing, though. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and this property here was actually renovated, and it sold for $80,000. And was it an MLS property? Yep. And it was an MLS property. So your issue is that you overcomped it. I'm going with this 91,000, and it sold in 33 days, and this was a renovated property. And let me see, what did they pay for it? Okay, someone paid cash for it. For that 91 too, on top of that.
Oh, so there's a cash buyer right there.
There's a cash buyer right there. So you may want to reach out to this cat right here. He may be interested in yours. Mm-hmm. Or you see it here? Something Wong. Jing Wong.
Stop. Yeah. Okay.
My boy.
Yeah.
No, the buyer was Jin Day, one of his boys. Day. Okay. One of his buddies. Okay. Yeah, that's where I would start at. Them boys might do something.
All right, Sierra, I hope you were able to follow along. Again, we're about 52 minutes and 55 seconds into the comping of your property there. You also had a possible cash buyer. You might want to reach out to them, but it seems as if you might have overcomped your property. And that happens, guys, but Dealulator is a good tool to have to assist you in comping your properties and plugging and chugging to see if it is a deal, plugging and chugging the numbers that you have right there on Dealulator.com. There is a free calculator that you can use. But then you can also subscribe to the Dealulator program. And as Ty mentioned, Car Renee, yes, there will be a giveaway, which you would put a video out later on in the week.
Yeah, if you go to Instagram right now and go to my Instagram and look up a post that I did today, it's the live. You'll see me up in front of the our whiteboard wall, and that's what I'm talking about. 30 minutes or so is the whiteboard wall that Adria created for us. Just amazing. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a real pointer though.
Huh?
Yeah, that pointer.
You need to make it happen.
I'm just doing it right now.
You need to make it happen.
Right.
All right. So people love my axe handle. They actually thought it was real wood. And so, but yeah, if you go look at that post, I'm not going to quote it. I'm here because of the live social media that we're going on. They got some policies that prevent this, the giveaway or whatever. So if you go there, I explain how you can get access to it. We're going to give it away December 3rd. So 2 weeks from today, basically.
All right, there you have it. So Sierra, hopefully that helped you out. You said thank you so much. Kyra Renee, hopefully that answered your question there. Hop over to Instagram. And Albert Churio, she's right there um in the chat box. You ask her yourself. Reach out to Sierra right there.
Oh, about
Sierra,
the property?
yeah, Sierra, look up at Albert. He might be in your backyard. So Facebook user says, I love what you guys are doing. I've been listening for a few months now and I'm getting closer and closer to action. My my in-laws have a rental that they are upside down on and I'm thinking of offering them owner financing to basically take over. How would I set that up? What do I say so that I can sound like I know what I'm talking about?
Ooh. Now I putting that dealing with that family now. First,
Don't do it.
I'm advise I'm
Reconsider.
gonna advise I'm gonna advise against it. But just let them know, hey, if give you an opportunity, you want to let them know you're going to take the landlord out of it. You will pay them directly to cover the monthly payment, and just be transparent. You're going to make money from it. You're going to charge rent a little bit above that, as they were probably doing, and you're going to collect a down payment. So you may owner finance it back out yourself to remove the owner financing on your end, so you can get a substantial down payment. But that's what you're going to sell them on, is that you're going to take the landlord out of it for them. That's what you're going to sell them on.
All right, there you have it. So let's see here. Albert has a question. Why don't you do JV deals with on-market properties? When we talk about visit deal, uh help me out now.
Deal you later.
No, not yes. Go to dealyoulater.com to submit your deals and for it to be reviewed. And one of the first things is that it shouldn't be an on-market deal. He wants to know if the numbers make sense. Why wouldn't you take it?
Well,
You're not gonna say never.
I wouldn't say never. It's just going to be rare that I'm even going to take a second look at it. See what now you can negotiate a property into a great deal that's on the market, but because it's on the market, it takes some of your superpower, or it takes a lot of your superpower away as a wholesaler, and you're going to limit yourself to the number of buyers that'll be attracted to it. Just way it is, man. They don't feel a need for you on stuff that they could have gotten themselves. But again, there's some out there that don't care. And then on top of that, a lot of times, because the property is listed, when you put it on the contract, it's still listed or whatever. And so now that agents or owners' information is out there for other wholesalers to call and blow up your deal, or cash buyers, because you won't work with them or give them a price that you want. So it just opens you up to being just a deal blowing up in your face. But just think about it now. Why people like myself, whether it's me, Max Maxwell, Jared Norton, Brent Daniels, you name them, why do we talk about all these different ways of marketing and method? Because we know it's harder to target the same properties that investors are being pounded with from agents. What you have to understand is that agents, the only thing they know is MLS, right? And you got thousands of agents in one market. And so the investors in those markets, agents, the first thing they say, yeah, I can put you on a list, blah, blah, blah. But they're not putting you on a special list, or that list is going out to hundreds, if not thousands of people. That's why off-market properties are more attractive, is because you control the narrative, and the deal hadn't been shopped around already. Again, it's possible, but it's just those are time wasters in most cases. It just is, or whatever. You want what appears to be low-hanging fruit, right? And just pull it down off the internet. And some people are experts at that, but most are not. Or what? I'm not one of those. I'm just not going to waste a lot of time on those. The best deals are just going to come from when you find a seller. They didn't know they wanted to sell until you reached out to them, or they saw your message, and now you control where in house is advertising, everything funnels through you or whatever. So again, hey, I don't know everything. Prove me wrong.
Okay, so we have Chapo, young fella.
Matter of fact, Prove Me Wrong didn't come on the show so you can educate the rest of us. Or maybe you want to hold on. I don't know, but prove us wrong.
Oh, okay. Chapo is on. This is TikTok actually. I keep mixing it up. What's the best way to really start making money at 18?
Wow, man, just for you even being interested in wholesaling is like just huge. At 18, I was 32 years old when I was, discovered it or whatever. So with you even being interested, so at 18, the world is yours. You shouldn't have any bills. Nothing really preventing you from not getting out there and start to hustle. So I don't know if you're in college or whatever, but you need to get out. Well, what I would recommend you do. Get out there, find your part-time job, right? You're making a few $100s every week or every 2 weeks, save a few hundred and then either invest in some bandit signs or text messaging campaign. But first you want to educate yourself. That's what you do after you've educated yourself. In reality, you'll know what to do or whatever. So, but to answer your question, that's what I would do is number one, educate yourself, and then you want to choose a lane as far as how you want to market. How do you want to market yourself and your business? Is Instagram still on? It is okay. I guess they started letting you go over an hour now. So
Yeah, it's good. We're good.
yeah,
I'm both.
yeah.
Okay, so next question is going to be from Rick. Hey Ty, quick question. How much money are buyers usually looking to make on their investment?
That'll be all over the board. But normally, people are very happy with 20+% after everything. That's where that 70% comes. That other 30% is the difference. Between you know what they want to make and their holding costs or whatever. So, but that's where the other 30%, and that's how much money they're looking to make. Generally speaking, some may want to make more. Some are happy with 10% on their money after everything is said and done.
All right. So, okay, player chick on Instagram. You said I used True People Search and a lot of the numbers I got didn't even go to voicemail. What do you do when you have a good lead but can't find contact information?
Then spends 50 cents and use skip to flip.
Skip the flip.
It's not going to get everyone, but it'll get a good number of them. Spends 50 cents and use skip to flip. Just YouTube search skip to flip. I'll put it on the screen. If that doesn't work for you, go ask the neighbors, how to reach that person. Send them something in the mail. I would send it FedEx or UPS, so that increases your chances of your message being read. The next thing is I said go ask the neighbors, and then yeah, if they're local, if you're not Gator enough to go do it, which I feel you, then get someone to go knock on the actual door.
All right. Jonathan Newsom, thank you for joining
I
us.
mean, where they live now, not the house where that's vacant, but the house where they actually live.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Jonathan Newsom, looks like you crossed over to YouTube from TikTok. I don't know what was going on there, but you're telling me that you're in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, anyone else that's in Richmond, VA? Jonathan Newsom's looking to network. He's in the chat box. There you have it. Shaq Smith, my man from D Town, is correct. Hit the like button, folks. There's plenty of you here. Make sure you're liking, hearting, tagging someone, subscribing so you're notified anytime any content is uploaded. And make sure you're coming back and watching these videos, even these, the weekly lives, in addition to the YouTube videos that you should be binging on. Continue to ask questions if you're not aware daily, every day. Ty goes through and answers questions that you add on to the videos even after the fact, guys. So you still have the opportunity, even when we're done tonight, to have your question asked. So Phil the investor, yes, in Jacksonville, go ahead and put that up for me so I can make sure I get that taken care of. I see the hearts, guys, on Instagram. Thank you so very much. The next question is from a Facebook user. We do assume, guys, we really do, and not being facetious when we say go to Google. But yeah, oftentimes we use acronyms, abbreviations, whatever, and it might fly over your head. So sorry about that, but you should
Yeah,
do.
if I'm sorry, go ahead.
You should do exactly what Facebook user is doing. Someone asked what was the ARV. Other users chatted in and said after repair value. But this particular person wants to know what is HOA and HUD. I've heard you guys talking about them in other videos.
HOA, you know what it means?
Housing something. It's the fees you pay to live in the neighborhood, the extra stuff, and the folks that come and tell you your grass too high and you can't put that Christmas decoration on your front door and you can't have basketball goals in the street, so you paying to live there on top of your taxes. But okay, HOA dues and fees, whatever.
Home Owners Association.
That thing. And the HUD.
And the HUD
is a HUD statement that gives
yeah.
you information of the details, rather, of the deal.
It's basically like the invoice.
There you have it.
It's basically like the HUD invoice.
Oh, wait a minute. She might be thinking like HUD Homes, though.
Well, it's still, well, yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, because you said HOA and HUD. So I'm thinking not necessarily documentation.
Well, it means housing and urban development. I actually just Googled it myself. I didn't actually know what it meant.
Mm-hmm. And I knew what HOA meant.
I knew what it meant, but I'm saying I didn't know what the acronym for HUD was.
Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Thank you, Avery. I see you there. You kind of saved me a little bit because I had a brain fart. One of the Homer moments. Dope. Okay. Juice Man, what's up, Ty? I found a home being sold by the owner, but I'm having trouble trying to find the cost of the repairs because there's no pictures of the house on Zillow. What should I do? Is that a deal? So I'm assuming this is a virtual deal, because why do you need pictures of the house on Zillow versus just going and looking at it?
Yeah, the property if it's not a virtual or not, whatever, does it seem like it's livable? If it's not livable, $40 a square foot. If it is livable, $25 a square foot. You know, those won't probably be exact numbers, but it'll be close enough so you can plug into a some form of formula to give you an idea if it's an actual deal or not. So
okay. So Ty, loser Bano 66. Boy, y'all be killing me with these damn names. Oh, excuse me. Wow. It came so fast. Oh, I'm sorry.
Buttermouth.
Oh, wait, little Jesus said.
Oh, language.
Okay, but the question is there a such thing as a property that is too distressed?
Yeah, that can, in a sense that it could be a situation where it's too distressed as far as the repairs will exceed the value of it. That's simple. Or the repairs will exceed the price that the seller gave you, which makes it not a deal. So yeah, most definitely. Sometimes it just the area just so run down, it just makes it difficult to move or whatever. So as far as the wholesaling anyway.
Mm-hmm. And when you're in smaller cities, do you recommend FSBOs? FSBOs for sale by owners.
Okay, yeah, FSBO, FSBO is what we're trying to say here. Yeah, FSBO is anywhere. You're dealing with the decision maker. Whenever you can deal with the decision maker, hey, that's where you want to be. You want to eliminate as many people as possible. Sometimes that's not possible, and you still can put deals together. Don't get me wrong, but whenever you can deal with just you and the decision makers, as an owner of a real estate, the actual owner, that goes a long way.
Okay. Follow-up question from TikTok was, is driving for dollars a legit way to find distressed properties? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So always keep pen and paper on your phone. Well, you don't need pen and paper because you can put a note in your phone.
Take a picture and put an image on it. Put text on it or something.
Yeah.
But it's technology is powerful, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Of those 500 plus videos, Ty, do any of them cover virtual wholesaling specifically?
Yeah, I have a couple that talk about it, but I sort of answered that in the beginning. The only thing with virtual wholesale, the main difference is you're still going to have to market your butt off or generate leads however you're going to generate locally. You're just going to have someone to represent you on the ground, even if it's just on a case by case basis or whatever. So that's it. If you solve that problem, the world is yours. The virtual world is yours.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Facebook user Fizbo.com and ForSaleByOwner.com are good sites for Fizbos. They are, but they're no different than on market properties. Everybody can see them. They're there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know. There's no true advantage there, but the properties are there and you could possibly make a deal. They're no different than you can make a deal out of on market properties. They're just few and far between and just may take a little bit more work. So James Jett, I'm in Illinois and want to wholesale. I know Illinois doesn't allow more than one per year unless you're an agent broker, which I'm not, but would you be able to partner with me on Illinois properties?
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, BF. Tell them over there on YouTube to hit those likes. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit the likes and heart. Love, love, love this free content, free knowledge, free game that you're getting right here tonight. And you can every Thursday. Connor Lights. What forms do I use to do seller financing to purchase a home for myself? Do I use a title company to close? So you found a good owner financing opportunity, but you're not doing it to flip over to an end buyer. You're actually going to stay in it on your own. Same process. You just don't go any further.
Yeah, the contract, only thing you're doing is just adding an addendum or an exhibit A in order to detail out the terms. You're still going to have to close on it, or however you're gonna do that. So,
Okay. Oh, y'all getting some good questions in. And El Hodge, I knew what it was. I was just having a brain fart. Thank you very much. You are always there to uplift and correct me, aren't you? Whew, you're so helpful. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. Veganista. What if you have a contract and a seller but cannot find a buyer? What do you do?
well, you go back to the seller, ask for more time, and they give it to you. Hopefully, you can get a reduction in price. Go back to seller and ask for more time, and they don't. If they don't, they keep your earnest money if you're outside of your outside of your due diligence period. But hopefully, you've exalted all measures to try to find a cash buyer. Hopefully, it's just that that process is broken and you didn't, but you do have a great deal. But normally, a great deal is not hard to move or whatever. But you still got to have a process, even if you don't have a buyer's list of reaching out to them. Hopefully, you posted in Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, LinkedIn groups, Craigslist. All of those are free. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You want to reach out to other wholesalers through bandit signs, ads that they're placing on those same sites or whatever. Use Google, sell my house fast. And those first 2-3 pages of results going to be serious wholesalers / cash buyers in your market. You can reach out to real estate agents that have done deals in that area with cash transactions and see if they have any clients that would be interested. You want to visit your REIA groups, REIA associates, real estate investment real estate investment associations. That's a great place to network. So hopefully you've exalted all of those options.
Okay, so barbecue. Love the way you spell that there on TikTok. Hey, brother.
How did he spell it?
It's BAR.BKEW. Barbecue. Q.
Okay.
Cool, like cute
Oh,
pies.
cool.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, cool. Okay. After listening to your advice, I'm really thinking about investing. And then you put in parentheses fear. I'm assuming he means he's fearful to not start. Don't be scared.
Well, when you start talking about investment, are you talking about actually buying properties for yourself? Or what do you mean, wholesaling or whatever? Because if you start out wholesaling, then you just lowered your risk, right?
Right.
You can spend a few $100s, maybe even a couple $1,000s, but you just lowered your risk tremendously or whatever, to start making money. But also in the process, you're learning how to find great deals, and you won't ever lose that. I don't care what level in real estate you move up to or whatever. It's being able to locate and identify great deals. You'll always have that mindset. And as long as you can find great real estate deals, you don't ever have to be broke. Finding them consistently, let me say that.
Okay, so Ram Evans, we just spoke about earlier. You said if you can't close out the deal when you have a contract, first thing is to go back to the seller to ask for more time. That was what we said in that instance. Mm-hmm. Ram Evans says, have you ever gone back to a seller to ask them to change the numbers after they've already signed the contract? So if not more time, what about less money?
Yeah. That's part of whenever you ask for more time, you're normally going to ask for less money. It's a double-edged sword. Sword.
Okay. So we talked about EMD, another one of those abbreviations, earnest money deposits. Do you have to offer earnest money if a seller does not request it? So most sellers aren't going to request it. You just put it on there on the contract.
You just want to do it just anyway. Yeah. You just want to
make it binding.
Yeah, make it done. Show some consideration, as they call it.
Okay, there we have it. Let's see here, guys. Ooh, y'all are in here. We got a lot of questions answered and asked tonight. TikTok and Instagram. Mark Camarillo wants to know why you dance so funny.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Hopefully I keep your attention though, but I'm terrible.
Yeah, I saw you today and I was like, look at Ty out there. What's that?
Terrible.
Well, that's okay, guys. You can, if you've missed any of Ty's dance moves, you can most definitely see those on TikTok. There's plenty of them, but there's also plenty of good content to get you started on your wholesaling journey. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all of that, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of your social media platforms, Twitch, Periscope. Anything that I left out, you find it, you join it, like, subscribe, but also make sure you're joining us here every Thursday. Now, next Thursday is Turkey Day, and this isn't whether you choose to celebrate or not. At least take a moment to step back and just be thankful for something in your life. I'm thankful for Ty. I'm sure many of you are as well. He's here sharing.
I'm thankful for you. You just don't know.
He's so sweet. Sharing this wonderful knowledge with us. And yes, El Hodge, who was also, he says he is the wind beneath my wings, asked, was I going to eventually have a deal to share? And El Hodge, I'm working on it. Adria, you getting a deal during this housing crash that's coming. You're going to make us proud. I'm going to make every one of you proud.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. But make sure you join us Thursday after next. Don't go spending all your money on them Black Friday sales, y'all. Save some of that to make sure you subscribe to doyoulater.com, text to Flip, or mail to Flip. All services that will benefit you in your wholesaling war chest. But without further ado, we turkeying out. We'll see you on the flip side.
Hit the TikTok and we'll exit out of here. Before they ban us again. It's all? The TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Yeah.